Becoming is. The world is, and the world ain't. Is a whole lot that ain't in between. And is so. Sometimes is ain't nothing.
Well, kind of interesting. I mean, we don't know each other deeply or well, though we've known each other well the way that we have, both as persons and as poet performers. Now, I've seen Charles develop. Well, this I consider a development. That this isn't just Charles doing poetry or anything, but the particular one is the energy spacing, reading, breathing, wop, da da wop 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 da da wop wop da da wop da da wop da da. Wop, wop, wop. You know, it's just gotten, to me, it's closer and closer to that of the real thing.
Like the fruit that once used to hang from a southern tree. He lay face down in the cobblestone alley. The bottom of a telephone pole pressed against his shoulder. His once brownish skin, parched by the dust and the angry drying blood. His body riddled with bullets. And before that, ravaged by a drug. His mother's at home sitting and waiting in hope. His father gave up. His father gave up years ago. Children nearby playing with a rope. A game of life no one understands.
It was a piece I did a few years ago, and I wasn't satisfied. I was trying to just do like a color and design, and so I had this idea of coming on to the black with kind of like I did the church house glass or the cathedral, but I'm using all white paint on top of pastel between, and it's, you know, you could read things into it in terms of, repetition, and then the break of that repetition. And so, in the same sense, it could be repetitions. I put these windows on here, and, the construction of supposedly a house or a cathedral. But now it changes. Once I add a person to it, it's almost like there's a story. It becomes a story. And I don't know what the story is. There was always the technology to interrupt feelings of love. The words spoken of devastation. The tracking system which canceled a phone call of comfort. the bills of expenditures, times of life with no meaning or giving mercy. Just the thought of demands and no supply. How can anyone breathe on demand or even choke on blue sky? Sing blue song where it states, chew on dotted line, love crushed like feathers bursting out of a pillow, landing in midair, only to evaporate. It's free verse from this collection, Redemption Beyond Blindness. Came out a couple of years ago. And probably just expressing my feelings, how love gets crushed, the games that people play. Captured in the holding prison. Moving from darkness to light. And back. Back to darkness. Weeping. Weeping each and every step of the way. The way of the cross. As he sings Amazing Grace, I am brutalized by his whip, by him. His whip, the stings of life leaving. Salvation, unknown to him, lost in the pain of knowing I am alive. Oh God, in hope of hope. For I hear the sea. Thank
What
you.
a nice event.
I really enjoyed it
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Hey, this is James Perkins.
Hi, how are you
I'm
doing?
Jim.
Hi, Jim.
That's good to meet
Oh,
you.
Jim Dennis. I'm
too.
sorry, I got it all twisted around. Hey, get
All
the
right,
cane.
that's okay. That's all right. Got you. Thank you.
Advertisement. He's a blind artist. Oh yes, he can braille you out. Come, bring all the women. Parties, but carrying a full load of art classes, and man gave a speech one day, and he said the whole class was there. He says, some people they have the ability to show up in class and arrive on time and try to study and learn and absorb what the instructor presents, and they try to persevere, continue, and learn to apply whatever the instructor is giving so they can use the art ability and develop it and grow. And then there are those that have like just natural talent, and they show up late in class and they drag around and they do a little bit, and they can, you know, just draw a line and execute whatever it is, and don't even have to study, and yet they show up late because they just don't give a damn. And I was ready to crawl underneath the table, man, and hide. And everybody looked at me, and but he was right. You know, he told the truth. You know, but it was so embarrassing. You know, but I guess he let me know. He let me know something. I backed off from college, took a break, and in the process, like Jeff pointed out, I had this. With Santa Cruz by the ocean, and I went the wrong way. With some friends, it was in a van, and I had just gotten into reading, because once I got to college, things took on a change. So I got into reading, so I'm in the van, of all places. One time I decided to do some more reading, so instead of getting out of the van, going with the group down to, you know, the right at the beach. So I get out, you know, later on, and when I get out, they went this way, and I went that way. I went the wrong way. So other part of the story is that came down, let the terrain carry me, came down the embankment, and down I went, and almost lost my life, and that's why I tell the story about by the grace of God, here I am. So related to that, I got this piece that's kind of related to it, and but it's also, this piece is like, when I lost my eyesight, I kind of just dropped out and didn't do nothing. People would come over to visit, I wouldn't even come out. So you might say I put myself in that shell of that prison. And so the other part of this piece is kind of related when I used to work in prisons. And so the fact of the matter is that you don't have to be behind bars in order to be in prison. Just the unspeakable artist, yearning in, out of the room. If we sit in a dark room too long, we will meet the who in the form of a tormenting scream examining who we really are. And as fearless as we may be to ourselves, those ghostly cries are all of us, laid out in the dark. But if we stay in a dark room for so long, we can see all the colors which reside on the other side of the rainbow, where tombstones, pilferage, and sorrows dwell. Magenta unwrapped, indigo unveiled, and cobalt for all those chants given up for when the soul gave chase to an Eastern religion. But residing in a dark room for so long can cause one to worship the form instead of the creator. Many hails for the blood we feel, running through our veins, flowing upward like the Nile to our heads. In this dark room where we sat for so long, counting moisture, rusted being of erotic pleasure, cursing your own membrane, beating your pigmentation until zinc, copper, silver, and gold, you nearly become equal to your own flesh, dying in the dark, and having no one to bear witness. Oh, woman in absence of gender, can you hear me? As we sit here in this solitary confinement, and having no one to bear witness, so badly the darkness can be seen like another color appearing through a prism, having never known this one. Your only response, a roaring sound. Frightened by one's ownership of sound, you attempt to muffle it, as if all of humanity is watching, answering back with the only compelling wild calling mankind can offer up, we will. Hurtful attempt to murder all those voices and years too, that's prolonged your stay in this dark room for so long until this ravaged savage is conquered by light broken
So that. Thank you.